Hey, Rob, thanks you so much for being on such short notice. You,
Holy cow, what an opening. I mean, I can't even do that.
come on, you got 5 cameras. Of course you could do that.
I'm lucky if I can make a llama with a balloon animal.
Well, I can't do that. I know we got, the original Grognar, the OG?
I, I've heard of him, and I saw a couple of his things recently. He's
Yeah, he's
really
on, and he's giving us the thumbs up.
oh well, there you go. He's really done some really cool stuff, and I really started the funny thing, when you do this, the worst thing you could do is go around and look at everybody else.
Oh, my God.
Because you second guess yourself beyond human belief.
All the time.
I mean, all the time. And I just finally got to the point. I said, you know something? I'm just going to do me, and that's it. And I stopped looking at everything. Well, I didn't realize I was missing so much great stuff.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
and the reason I'm doing this is because I had to move. I had to switch cameras because I got a camera going kooky. But I can actually fix it.
I mean, guys like you that have been around. But I mean, I used to watch you, man, 5 years ago because you had the War and Peace segment. So I wanted to get back into these war games.
Mm-hmm.
I loved your stuff, and I learn off guys like you. I learned how to be diplomatic. I learned how to be pretty and beautiful. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a funny. And by the way, anything I say here does not reflect anything that Dan thinks or feels. So do not hold anything I say against no enemies here, because I make plenty of enemies. No, no. It's a funny thing. I try to be good to everyone, and with the tie. In my personal life, things are a lot different, with my work and so forth and so on, something I really can't talk about. But, I came into gaming world thinking, something, this is a way to get away from reality a little bit and try to give back to people and stuff like that. And the funny thing is, people are still people no matter what they do. Okay. And you've got idiots, but you got some really great people. I admire beyond human belief. It's kind of funny because if you really think about it, it started with Joe Stetman, then it went to the Chief, then it went to me, and now you are
what's going on?
Yeah, we all spent a little time at the Dice Tower with a war segment. And I got a chance a couple of years ago to meet Joe for the first time, and his wife, fantastic lady. And he's an interesting guy as well. And we were just talking how complimentary he was. And whoever takes over that mantle over at the Dice Tower, it's almost like a brotherhood. I saw the Chief at BGG Con like I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. And, he was very nice, came up, shook my hand and everything like that. And then he proceeded to put on some weird nose for the Battling Tops game at midnight. So I just watched that whole thing. It was kind of funny. He was leading the whole parade down there. That's a whole thing that if you ever get a chance to go to BGG Con, this Battling Tops, remember the game Battling Tops?
Yep.
Well, they have a tournament, and it is like the most aggressive thing you will ever see. You think it was pit fighting.
Now, this is run by the Chief?
No, it's run by BGG, but everybody that goes to the convention, they have like little factions. Like the Dice Tower got all dressed up, and they would do things, and then other people had little factions and everything. So I actually entered the tournament. I couldn't even get my pinky into the little ring thing. In the old days, I'd be able to grab the whole thing and pull. I'm trying to pull this thing, okay? And meanwhile, I got this like 37-pound woman that's beating my top half to death. And I'm like, okay, just isn't for me.
She's been practicing for sure.
She's been practicing a lifetime.
Okay, Rob, I got some questions here. It's serious time now.
All right, go ahead.
Enough of this tomfoolery. So, Rob, first of all, wargaming. Why did you get into wargaming, and what was the first game that turned you on to wargaming?
That's an easy one. Everything, I didn't have the most, I'm somebody that pulls back the curtain. So, I call it as I see it. So this is going to be a little long, but I'll shorten it up. When I was growing up, I didn't have, my parents weren't there very much, but I loved my grandmother and my uncle, and they were always, we were always getting dropped off downtown in this town in New Haven. I grew up in Connecticut. And he was into everything, and he would spend time with me. My uncle was actually only, I say about 8 years older than I was. And he broke out a Panzer Leader. I'll never forget it. The old Avalon Hill game, and Tactics 2. And I just, from there, I was gone. I mean, that was it. All I wanted to do was that. All my modeling came from him as well. He used to have, I was always interested in space, and he would have tanks and spaceships and Messerschmitts and Spitfires. And he was such a fantastic artist. I mean, he was ridiculous. I mean, I revered him. He was my childhood idol. And anything that he did, I wanted to do, and just always do it. And from there, every Christmas he would get me a game or something, or a model or something like that. And I remember, oh God, what was it? Oh boy,
The game?
Yeah, the game that he bought me. It was the first one that I actually got to keep for myself.
Do you remember the company?
Oh, it was Avalon Hill. Oh,
B-17?
No, it was Gettysburg.
Oh, okay.
Gettysburg. And
by Richard Berg, right?
Yep.
Yep.
I played the heck out of it. Oh God. He actually died when he was 50.
Wow.
And it's the reason I do what I do now. I started this channel for a couple of reasons: to raise money for charity, to try to help people, and do a lot of things. And it all started with, well, I'm getting off on a whole nother thing, but everything I do, and the reason I play the things I do, is all based around him.
Yeah, and that's, you brought up a charity and all that, and I'm going to skip up and down. I'm not going to go in chronological order. Where were you born?
Say whatever you. Listen, I got all the time in the world for you. I mean, we could sit here all night. Okay,
Rob. You know what? You got the Florida record for squats. Now,
yeah, it was
squatting. For people who don't know, is putting weights on your shoulder and the back, bending down and lifting yourself up again. So before you say anything, Rob, I used to squat, and I thought it was a lot, because me, like Rob, I used to look like Rob when I was younger. You know what I mean? And,
no, absolutely.
And I used to. I mean, look at my arms. Come on. Anyways, I used to squat 350, and 350 for a little guy like me, and I used to do many reps and all that. It was pretty cool. So Rob's got the Florida record for the amount of weight to squat. And how much weight was that, Rob?
It was the senior age group. The actual thing I did is now defunct. It was a Christian group. It was a Raw United at that time. And I wonder if you can even find it. But I check all the records now, and nobody's even come close to it. I did 820 squat. I did a 780 deadlift, and my bench was 580.
Okay, can we go back there? What was your squat?
820.
Okay, that's what my ex-mother-in-law used to weigh.
Really?
That's a lot of weight, man. Okay.
That is a lot of weight.
Yeah, I mean, what does a little?
How do you get her through the door? I mean, did you have to tie a piece of cheese to a
no, she
string?
Was Italian. She was all greasy, so it was easy. You know what I mean? Anyways, I just learned that from you a few days ago, and that's incredible, Rob. And you must have been wearing what, 2 belts?
Well, that was wrapped because there were 2 different. There was Raw, which was completely unwrapped. Now that I was unwrapped, no belt.
What are you talking about?
You have to wrap you're allowed to wrap your knees so they don't pop out of the socket. Okay, and then you would wear a belt.
Yeah, your spine doesn't come
for your spine.
out.
But they also have it's what they call is a raw division where you don't use a belt and wraps, and I did that as well, and that I was at 640, no wraps, no belt.
No, that's dangerous. That's
yeah. Well, I actually, because I'm so old, because the division that I was, it was the senior division that I had done this in. Yeah, over 55. and I and now because you've lifted and you've done this most of your life, that your body is an engine. Okay, if you don't use it, well, guess what? It doesn't start. Okay, but if you rev it too hard, things are going to break.
Yeah.
No matter, you're going to put a lot of mileage on it, and I'm at that point where there's a lot of mileage on the old carcass here. So I started backing off a little bit, doing more martial arts and things like that to stay in shape, and I'm enjoying it. But every morning, 4 o'clock, you'll find me at the gym.
You're a martial artist too?
Yeah, I've done that for quite some time.
Well, I'm not scared of you, Rob.
No, there's no reason to be.
No. I mean, I could take you down so fast it wouldn't even be funny.
I wouldn't even feel it. I hit the ground so hard.
That's good, crazy. Okay. Forget the tomfoolery here. So your war games. Do you have a go-to designer? And don't say Mark Herman.
Well, we dated for a while, Mark and I, and believe me, don't think there isn't some payback for that little skit that you did. I will find you. Boy, I'll tell you who has really been on my radar, and it's Richard Thompson lately.
You mean David Thompson?
David Thompson, excuse me.
Yep.
David Thompson.
Yep.
First of all, he's like the nicest human being on the planet, and yeah, let me tell you something. That is something that is building a bridge, and people don't realize it. And I just think it's fantastic that you have people that will do things like that. Pavlov's house there.
Yep.
To hear somebody, Liz Thompson. Do you know who she is?
It rings a bell.
She does solo games. She's a real sweet girl.
Oh, yes. She was just on the Dice Tower.
Yeah.
As a guest, yeah.
Well, she now has the wargaming bug. And it was games like his that built that bridge. So when you have super intelligent people that get tired of, well, geez, I just farmed a whole bunch of corn, and now I'm going to farm some more wheat, and then see how many victory points I can get out of all this wheat and stuff like. They want to be challenged. People want to be challenged because you just don't exercise your body; you exercise your mind as well. And the next level is to take it to a historic level. Okay, not only are you going to learn about. They're not just pieces of chits.
No.
They're not little pieces of cardboard. These were actual human beings who faced insurmountable odds, and the bravery and some of the battles. And you look at it from this perspective where you're looking down, and instead of being there, you're looking down and you're going, wow, how did they overcome that? And you don't take the human element in. And it makes you want to look at the history books because let's face it, they don't teach history anymore.
Not like that.
Not like that. But here's a way, here's a bridge, here's a gap. Not only are you going to take, a gamer that wants to constantly be testing themselves to another level, but you're teaching something. And wargaming will never die. Don't listen to, I've heard a million, oh, well, this is a dying this and a dying that. Eat eggs. It's been here since H.G. Wells. H.G. Wells was playing miniatures on okay, and it's still here.
Yeah,
and it's probably better than ever.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, right now, this is the golden age. If not in the future, probably the golden age in 10 years. I mean, we thought
the 70s were
a golden age.
Yeah, I thought the 70s, SPI, GDW. Is that you, Queen? Oh, I thought the wife was in here. Avalon Hill, those bookcase games. Oh God.
Yeah, I know. Do you have a lot of those?
Yeah, I got a ton of them. I have a ton of them. My collection. Now, you would think, with all the miniatures I paint and stuff like that, that my collection would be board games. A lot of CMON stuff. No, my collection is about 70% war games. My War and Pieces segment is the most important segment I have. It's something I love. When I get to see people like the original OG, yeah. When you get to see Gimpy, you get to see Mo. The Player's Aid, who you guys, yourself, the Chief, you guys are the future of this. You guys are the heart and soul of this, and you don't realize that you are inspiring the next generation of war gamer. You're passing the torch. It's a funny thing, and I hope you forgive me for this, but I was skipping around and I ran into this channel that I'm not going to name, and they go, and their whole thing was, well, we're going to show you how to play this game because everybody else doesn't show you how to play the game, and they don't spend enough time with the game. So we're going to do it on this. We're going to be the heroes of this channel. Okay. And I looked at this moron. Okay. And I go, okay, you're one of the guys that ruin it for everybody.
That's right.
Okay. Because you make it intimidating. You think you're smarter than everybody else in the room. When you don't pay homage to the people that are taking the time to go through, I could probably pull something out right here with a rule book like this. Okay. And you have to break down movement, shooting, morale, and all this stuff and explain it in a 10-minute video. Why a 10-minute video? Because the attention span of people nowadays is very small, and you're going to lose them after that 10 to 15 minutes. And you guys are taking, and take Gimpy.
Yeah. He's
taken and broken things into pieces. Why?
Yep. Because
he wants to keep you engaged. He wants to teach you and show you something. But everybody thinks they can do it better. Okay. And those are the guys that, okay, you stay over there. Let the big boys play. Okay. So, guys like all of you guys that are setting it for the future, because you're in the golden age. You need people like you guys that are going to just be passionate about it. You're bringing in new crowds. Look at everything that the Player Aid's doing. Let's not forget Stuka Joe. I feel bad when I start naming names. Okay. because you always forget somebody, and Marco, who's the Omni gamer now.
Right.
You should just stick with the War Gamer. He's still
it's over. It's over.
Yeah. But these guys, they show you the game. Now it's up to you to go get it and learn it and be it. Because when you buy that game, you're not buying, a half-hour experience. You're buying, anywhere from, 120 minutes to 200 or 360 minutes of experience that you are going to just with one scenario.
Yeah.
You get a lot of game for your buck, a lot more
Absolutely.
than some of these other games. You play once, you go, huh, I beat it.
And you know what, Rob? I'm flattered that you put me with all these other guys like the Players Aid and all that. But I'm not at that level. These guys present the games. I only present them presenting the games.
But how is not a tremendous service? You know something? You are introducing people to more people. Okay, you're spreading the word of this fantastic, immersive hobby. Okay, this hobby has some beautiful people and have had beautiful people. I'm going to tell you a quick story because I know I talk a lot, but you should have knew that before you even invited me, bro. Now, I down here, there's a couple of HMSs that have their convention. They have them twice a year. There's Recon and Huracan. And that's a whole different story. How it got its name, Huracan. They play through a hurricane. Quick story. Now, the one thing that I've been going and I've been filming it for the last 5 years and putting it on Dice Tower, trying to show people that this is a big, this is a big thing. Wargaming, they have their own convention. And it's fantastic. God, Origins was all wargaming at one time. So these people are so in tune with each other and have cared for each other. When one of them falls, they have a table and they set up the table just for that person. Has a flower, a teacup, and a sitting just for him, just like he was coming to dinner or something like that. It shows you how much passion that they have for each other as well as the games. Getting together, and that's the true war gamer. A guy that they spend time with, and their groups that have gotten together for years upon years and upon years. The biggest fault, though, at times is that it's hard for them to let people in, and that's where I've tried to come in and show people that, hey, we've got to be more open. We're not going anywhere, but we should open the doors and let that next generation be the guys that are going to help the next generation. They go, I remember those guys. Those guys were the best. And I want to be like Dan. I want to be like Mo. I want to be like Joe.
All right. This interview is about you, not about us. All right. So
whoa.
Take it easy.
Wargaming, bro.
Take it easy. Now, check out God's Lover.
Godzilla Lover.
Thank you.
Godzilla Lover. She is she I play to I can talk hours about how I do things, but I don't care about being YouTube famous. I don't care about a lot of things. I care about the people. I play to a bunch of people. She's one of them that I play to. When I turn on that camera, those are the people I see. Those are the people that I've been blessed enough to meet. The Kabukis, the Helens. Then I can name my whole community, and then I'm going to skip somebody. I'm going to feel horrible. But the Tims, the Toms, and all these people, I play to them. And if people want to come and join a community, please do. You're welcome. If you don't want to stay, I'm not worried about it either. And Rob, I'm not going anywhere.
You are very charitable. You are very soft-spoken. You actually self-deprecate yourself. Look, if I can do this, anybody could do this. I saw you today painting a mini, adding some steel stuff, and I'm like, first of all, with your big chunky hands, how do you hold that little mini? Like, seriously. And were you wearing glasses? Because I can't even see you right now, type thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I have these, and then sometimes I break these out. But so that's for the 15 mil war. I do 10 mil Civil War. I do 10 mil American Revolution, of course, World War II. I paint all that stuff in the tanks.
And I saw the way you paint, Roberts, and obviously you've got experience up the wazoo. But I saw the little guy you were painting today. He had a green body and he had pads and stuff like that. And the green body was perfect. The chain around his back was perfect. The silver did not go on the green. And I thought, man, first of all, it takes a patience, but it's very zen. I understand that. It's meditating, you know. And what was I going to say here? You remind me of when the Saturday nights when we were younger, you'd go out drinking, you'd have a hangover, so you'd watch Julia Child on PBS and Bob
Ross.
You're the Bob Ross of you're the Bob Ross because you're soft spoken. You always inject some philosophy, and you're so smooth that I texted you today. Hey Rob, are we still on for 7:00? And you told me you were live, so I went right away to your channel, and because of the 7-second delay, you were on your channel showing everybody you were texting. That's how smooth you are. And I thought, this guy's just, he's him.
We are the most unprofessional channel in the world. No. And that's a good thing. What I mean by that is I'm not going to sit here and go, hi, so Dan, tell me, what's the next game that you're playing next week? No, that's not me. I pull back the curtain. My granddaughter will come, they'll bring my granddaughter and I'll show everybody off my granddaughter. My wife will come in and complain that I didn't pick up my socks. My dog will come in and start, the thing is, I believe that when I open up, when I turn on that camera, I'm opening up people to come into my life.
Yep.
Okay. And you're going to see my life. It's not going to be this perfect thing. I'm going to do something. I'm going to drop something. I'm going to screw up the rules. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But we do it together. And that's where the passion and everything comes. It's building a community that of people that you care about and that you love and that you learn about. You learn about their lives. There have been plenty of people that have had hard times. We've done everything that we could to raise money to help them. It's been something that's been very moving. And I try to move people to be good to people. The world's tough enough as it is. And we have this moment that we could just spend with each other and just be human beings, be kind to each other.
Where did this community ideology come from, Rob? Like, you have this big time,
It came from everything that I think I just wanted. I wanted in my life. I'm out in the middle of Florida. I grew up. My father was a cop. And I fought every day of my life. That's where all the martial arts came in, because I was just fighting every day. And my father said, well, we'll take you down here and you can figure it out. That was the answer. And the problem is that my father was arresting all these guys' fathers and they were coming out and taking it out on me. I didn't have best friends. I didn't have any friends. And that's pretty much how my life had been. And, you go through life, you have acquaintances and stuff like that. And you always wanted, to have people to do things with, but people come and go. And I wanted to build something where I just was able to share all the things that I wanted from my childhood and from my life, and just find people that were lost where I've kind of felt lost. The channel kind of started a little different, but when I got going, I said, this is what I want. I want to be able to do things with people. I had my son and my daughter playing with me every Saturday. In the very beginning, we were playing out on a kitchen table, and my wife would cook something. Everybody would ask, okay, what are you cooking? She was always cooking some brujol or something like that. You know what I'm talking about. She would bring the food and put it right in the middle of the table, and everybody was like, "Oh my God!" So they were always interested in what she was doing, and it became this this fantastic, thing, and we developed this thing, and it became personal because I started to care so much about each individual, And the person that was always there. We've had people come, we had people go. That's life, and it kind of just replays life. But there's people that have been there since the beginning, and that are very loyal, very, very loyal. I almost consider it kind of like a little cult following in a way, but we're not drinking blue Kool-Aid or anything. We're just we're just this group of people that just we don't care about your fancy sets. We don't care, about who gets the cult of the new game. We don't care about we just turn it on, and whatever I feel like playing that day, I'll be playing it. They could be talking completely about something else. It really doesn't matter. It's just this experience where everybody gets together. It's like when people sit at the table. Well, I'm going to move here. They could be talking about the ball game from a couple days ago. That's just what it is. And that's all it'll ever be. It'll never be anything more. It'll never be anything less.
No, that's just that reminds me of my Sundays with my mom and the 24 other nephews and cousins that hang around. And you know what? I haven't had a brassol in such a long time that I'm gonna. Yeah,
because you're in Canada.
I'm gonna. No, it's a. Anyways, a long story.
Let me tell you something, Dan. The worst thing about living in Florida is they don't have a deli.
You mean a Jewish deli?
No, I'm talking an Italian deli.
Oh, I thought you meant a Jew. Okay, because here it's full of Italian delis, Jewish delis, Greek delis.
I can't get an Italian bread. We have to go to a flea market, and this lady makes it. Try to get pizza down here. Forget about it. And I'm Polish and Italian, and we had one good Polish place, and it was fantastic. And we bring all the food in for Christmas because we always have the big Polish dinner. My wife's full blood Polish, and I'm half Polish, half Italian, and part of Romanian, as far as I know about my history. But that went away, and now there's nothing.
That's the same with me.
You got the closest thing to a deli we have is Jersey Mike's subs. That's about it.
No, I wouldn't even step in there.
Now you know what I'm saying.
So hey, let me one of the commenters here, James Brazil or Brazil.
Yeah.
Sorry, James, if I butcher your name. I'm sorry. He asks, are there any war games you're looking forward to, Rob?
Yeah. Matter of fact, Mark Walker. I had to throw that name out there. They've got the third part of Old School Tactical.
Not the Pacific.
Yeah, that's supposed to be coming out soon. I'm really looking forward to that.
I thought he had it out. No,
no, I don't think so. Or else I would have had it.
Okay, because he just started his Kickstarter today with La Résistance.
Yes, that's another one that he hit me up last night, and he says, "Can I send you the demo to check out?" I go, "Of course, I do anything
That's
for
exactly
those guys."
What I said.
I go, "You don't even have to ask; just send it." I go, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah,
just send it. I'll take I always take care of those guys, and that I'm very fascinated in, and but the Pacific, I'm really, because they had, that's the other guy that I really like. I didn't know it was Greg that does that channel, Counterproductive Games.
I don't. Wayne, Greg, I don't know.
Yeah, it's Greg. Name. His name's Greg. He actually does a lot of work with Mark. I didn't know it was him, and I'm watching this guy. I go, this guy, the way he talks, and I go, this is what he's another one that has just come in, and he talks. He doesn't talk over you, or
he's very soft spoken,
and he takes the time to make you feel part of it, and that is such a beautiful. And I wrote him. I go, "You son of a bitch!" My exact thing. I go, "Why didn't you tell me it was you and that you had a channel?"
Well, hold on. What do you mean he works with Mark?
Yeah, Carlson's his last name. He's always in his booth. He's always in his booth.
Okay.
Oh God, I feel horrible. I forget it. I'm forgetting his name.
Eddie.
Eddie Carlson. Eddie Carlson.
That's Eddie Carlson.
That's Eddie Carlson.
You know, I emailed that guy so many times. I didn't even know it was him.
That's Eddie.
Are you
And I'm
sure?
going, I wrote him. I go because I cursed him out. I go, Eddie, you're fantastic.
Well, you just taught me something today.
He goes, oh, gee, thanks. You know, I'm really trying to just get my feet. It really means a lot coming from you. I go, Eddie, you're doing it better than me. I go, you're fantastic. I go, this is beautiful what you're doing.
Yeah, I comment as much as I can on his channel.
And then you get, oh yeah, well, you know, I'm trying. Maybe if you
So
can give me some pointers. Maybe you can give me some pointers.
Rob, another question here.
Sure, go ahead.
Do you still play like super long games, like something like Twilight Imperium or any monster war games? You still do? You got time to do that?
Yeah, I do. Now I'm kind of leaning towards that.
Really?
Yeah. And I want to do it live and not alone.
You're gonna do that for 8 hours live?
Well, I'll break it up, of course.
Oh,
You know. Now, could I sit here and just play for 8 hours straight? Yeah.
really?
I've done streams that were 4.5 hours, 5 hours.
I personally don't have the focus.
You know what the problem is? I don't shut up. If you noticed, I don't shut up. And if I have my little sippy cup of water, I'm fine. I'm ready to go another hour. Let's go, Dan. So no, I could do it. It takes that type of a really good game. You know, like I wanted to do. Oh, you can't see it. Hold on. You see, this is one of the fancy things that I have. I have a moving camera.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Okay, hold on. Let's get over here. Right there, in World in Flames.
But that's the small one. They got the huge pack.
Yeah, I got the other one in the back there, but I want to do that. But I got so much stuff.
That's humongous, that game.
Yeah. You know, another one that I need to take a look at, and let me just get focused on me because this is all about me.
Yes.
I got it down here, and I've been eyeballing it, and I don't know how long it is. Last Blitzkrieg by Multiman.
Right. Okay.
Last Blitzkrieg. I believe that's a big one too.
I don't know. Is it? I just I was editing my show today, and one.
Hold on, I'll pull it out. Hold on.
Go ahead. Yeah, I just saw that today. Is that a new game?
Let me put my headset back on.
Is that a new game, Rob?
No, I bought it a while ago, and it's just been sitting there along with about 900 other things that have been just sitting there. You know, wasn't this owned by Multiman? Isn't that owned by the pitcher from the Red Sox?
Oh, you're talking about
oh God,
Kirk something.
Yeah, Kurt Schilling.
Yeah.
Didn't he? Doesn't he have a stake in this or something?
I heard he did, but I think when it was the Gamers, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm trying. I heard that this was a long battle, and you know these Multiman stuff, they don't come out very often. They need to, you know, they carry ASL now.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, wow, what a group of fans that is.
Yeah. That's and you know what? Like,
good people.
Well, let me ask you something. These guys, you could consider them grognards, okay?
Yes.
For sure. Now, is that a dying breed, in your opinion?
I think the name
I'm talking about, not the wargamer, the grognard.
They don't have to die, but it's a self-inflicted gun wound, if you ask me. Because the true, and maybe people will take offense to this, but when I say these things, I really want you to think about what I'm trying to say here. Okay. Some of these guys take themselves so seriously and they're so passionate. It's kind of like that indie band that you follow. You know, when the first time you heard your first Rush album and you go, oh, wow, these guys, they don't play these guys on the radio. I love them to death. And then all of a sudden they blow up and they become this huge thing. And then everybody loves them. And guess what? That jealousy sits in. Wait a minute. I liked them before everybody else. Okay. These guys are so passionate and love wargaming so much that they close themselves off. I've seen it. I've been to the conventions. I've seen it. I've got it on tape too. You know, I see, and I'm going to tell you a quick story. Of course, nothing's quick with me, Dan. You're going to regret ever calling to talk to me. But this kid, he had to be about 14 to 16, somewhere in that range. And they set up this beautiful table, okay? And they were getting ready to play, and the kid wanted to learn. And one of them turned around, and you could tell he was hardcore, and he goes, have you ever played this? And the kid goes, no, but I want to learn. And he goes, we don't teach people here. Okay, if you want to learn, go. You know, the kid paid $35 to get in the door. I remember because I grabbed him, and then I went, what did I grab? What game did I grab? Oh, the prison game. The prison game.
The prison game. Not Colditz?
Yes. I grabbed a copy of that, and I sat down and I played with him, and I, just kind of ease him in because he wanted to learn. You know, you have all these beautiful minds that want to learn.
Yeah, I know.
But they shut people out because it's theirs. And they don't realize that they're hurting the industry. They should be the ones, they should be the teachers. They should be the ones that are helping and teaching these kids about our past. About all these emotions that man has. If you really think about it. Okay, what's war about? What are all these wars start over? It's either religion or it's, a belief or something, and people go into battle. Nobody wants to fight each other. Nobody intentionally wants to do this, but they do it because of a belief and to protect what's theirs and to teach these kids so maybe they'll learn from our past. It's your responsibility.
They're miserable.
Yeah, they're miserable, and the word's even intimidating if you really think about it. Okay, and no offense to the OG there, but if you call yourself that, you're separating yourself from other people. I think in some way.
You mean a grognard?
Yeah. We're all grognards, and then you got people that want to learn. They're hesitant as it is. It's an intimidating. This is intimidating. War games are intimidating because they're big and they're learn and there's a lot to them and the history and everything and understanding the vehicles, the particular weapons and all these other things. There's a lot that goes into it. Mm-hmm. So it's intimidating. But when somebody has the courage to come in there and they already feel separated because, well, we're the grognards. Like there's one little group that goes to this convention all the time. They separate themselves and they all have this thing and they all play together and they don't let anybody else play with them. And yet they have some of the most fascinating things that they put together. And I scratch my head. Last year was the first year that I actually saw on a Friday, because I go on a Friday to the Huracan and Recon. And I saw it starting to get younger, and I was blown away by that. And I started to see a lot of different things where there was still that old group, but there were more kids coming in, and they were almost a little more cocky than I expected, because they didn't care. They dealt with the attitudes and stuff like that, but they just wanted to play. And I think that's what it's coming down to. People just want to play. And if we're more inviting, more caring, I always say it, I say it at the end of every stream, and I mean it, and I mean it with all my heart. I say, try to be nice to somebody today, because it's not only going to make you feel good, it's going to make them feel good. And that's what makes the world a better place.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't know if it's the same energy to be an ass or to be nice, but
It takes the same energy.
I guess. And yeah, I mean, when I was a young kid, I wanted to learn a lot of stuff, but being Italian, you know how many shots in the head I got? Shut up. That's not for you. Shut up. Go over there and all that. And so you become an angry little kid,
Oh, God.
But thank God I'm almost grown up where I don't have those anymore. And, I mean, I started I work in mental health, and I started a board game group there, and it was just fantastic. People just gathered around, and nobody had a stigma about mental illness. It was we're gaming, and it was a lot of fun. But anyways, enough about me, Rob. Let's talk about your beautifulness, okay?
No. You know something. I wanted to ask you something, because fame is starting to come your way. Okay.
Fame, eh?
Yeah, fame. Well, I mean, people recognize you now. You're Dan. Everybody likes Danny. How do you deal with it when you go to a convention?
No, I've you're turning this on me now.
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Well, of course I am. I got my own channel, bro.
Okay. When I was younger, I was a professional musician for about 30 years, and when I was young, I was a hot shot. I was really, really excellent on my instrument, and people would come up to me and they would say, how do you do that? How do you do that? And I had a really shitty attitude, and I would say stuff like, listen, you lame brain, practice as much as I can, and you're gonna be just as proficient as I am, which is not true, because there's talent that comes into play. Everybody's a bit different, but I being young and stupid and arrogant, I didn't like it at all. So I was famous in my own little world here. Many years ago, I didn't handle it well. But now, because I've learned from that, when people come up to me, I'm incredibly grateful. Thank you so much for, I can't believe you came up to me, man. What's your name? This and this and that. Because I learned how to be, man. I'm not that arrogant, angry, stupid, ignorant kid anymore. Hey, if someone watches your channel, wow, you're watching me? How grateful can that be? I mean, I'm acting stupid and you're telling me I'm doing good, I'm doing that. No, I'm grateful now. Now I'm very grateful. Yeah. So enough about me, Rob. Again. Maron. Come on. So, okay. So I think about a year and a half ago, you joined BGG.
Yes.
How did that come? Was this a long time in the works, or was this like a spontaneous thing? Bang.
It was actually at a Gen Con. I was I wanted to. My wife was sick for a while, and she dealt with some illness, so I had to leave the Dice Tower, and it was too much to make the extra videos and stuff like that. And I did what I could to try to keep the videos going on this channel, and everybody on the channel kind of knew that she was struggling, and we couldn't figure out what was going on with her. Fortunately, I have a wonderful friend at the gym who happened to be a doctor, and he had helped her out. So we got her back up on her feet, and over summer I went to Gen Con, and I didn't want to go back to the Dice Tower for a couple of different reasons. and I wanted to do something different. Well, I knew Aldi for quite some time, Aldi, who runs Board Game Geek, and I always admired him. He always liked me, and we've always been very good to each other. And he goes, well, we sat down, and I go, I do a painting segment. If you want, maybe I can do something for you. He goes, I would love to have you here. It would be great. And they had just gotten Chaz and Rodney, and I was both really friendly with them, and so we decided to have this team together. And I just do my own thing. I do my segment. There's no pressure. There's no worry. There's no nothing. And we've been in just plugging along, having a great time with it. I've been teaching people and helping people. I think the most moving thing that I get, and I get a lot of this, and I'm just it's overwhelming for me at times, is you get a letter from a father saying, something, my son was in a lot of trouble. Well, this is one letter. Because my son was always in trouble at school. He wasn't doing things. He was hanging around with the wrong kids. And I was watching you, and he walked by and he saw what you were doing, and he stopped. And I asked him if he wanted to try it. And he and I have been painting for the last year or something. And I can't thank you enough for bringing my son back to me. I mean, what do you say to that? What do you say?
There's no words to that.
And I've gotten so many things where fathers and sons are doing things together and enjoying, or they'll sit down and watch the channel together, which it's overwhelming. Did you ever collect comic books when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Okay. I still do. Okay.
Well,
I can never let it go.
Right.
So when I was growing up and you were fighting all the time and every day was a fight, I had a problem reading. I couldn't read. That's why, sometimes when you have to say some of these names on screen, oh my God, I go, and then I look right at the camera and I go, you want to know something? I can't say it. So go ahead. Write in the comments all you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I was never very good. I mean, I could talk, as we know, but I had a problem reading when I was growing up. And my father brought home this big box of comic books. And I remember the first comic book I picked up was this copy of Nova #1. And I read it and I go, I want to learn every word. Turned out I was just lazy. I didn't want to read anything that they wanted to give me. The real problem was I was just lazy. I wanted to read what I wanted to read. Mm-hmm. So I decided to, I basically learned how to reading comic books. So I held on to this comic book, okay, for like 30 something years. Okay. The guy that wrote the comic book was coming to a local convention. I go, I'm going to take this comic book to him. I'm going to have him sign it, and I'm going to tell him my story and how I learned how to read because of this comic book. And he's going to be like, oh my God, that's fantastic. I'm so happy for and everything. I go up to him, right? And this guy was like a god, and Marv Wolfman. Do you remember him at all?
No.
Okay. Wrote Dracula, a couple other things. Teen Titans, stuff like that. So I bring the comic book, I put it in front of him, and I start to tell my story. He goes, that's great. He goes, that's great. I wrote it for kids anyways. Next. And I never forgot what a prick he was.
Yeah, I could
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah.
So every time somebody comes up to me or writes me,
yep,
I think of that story.
And you're not going to do that.
And I said, you know something? I don't want to be this guy's Marv Wolfman. Ever. He lost all the rights to the book anyways, and now they're making tons of money. Marvel's making tons of money off of it.
The guy was a schmuck.
The guy was a schmuck. He had it coming. No, but And I just always think of that, and that's how it works. But I get so many things and that's what inspires me to just keep painting, is that, maybe just one more person's going to pick up a brush out of the 5 people that watch.
You had me wanting to pick up a brush, man. You know what I mean?
Come on, Dan. I'll have you on the show. I'll teach you.
I'm doing so many things. Like my wife tells me, focus. Focus. Anyways, hey, I have a story, and you're in it. I'm communicating with this guy, and I'm all happy because he's a great designer and like a world-renowned designer.
Oh yeah.
And we met. He came to Montreal, and we started talking about you. He dropped your name. Yeah. He says, Rob Oren, that guy's a great guy. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, wow, okay. Yeah. And I knew of you through your channel. And do you know who that guy was?
Herman Lutman.
Herman Lutman. That's why I did this skit. Herman Lutman is a lovely guy.
Oh.
That guy's beautiful. I mean,
he's fantastic.
He's fantastic, and his games. A lot of his games. You can start. I don't want to say they're easy. They're well. You know what? Yeah, they're easy, but they're deep. His games. There's a lot to be learned. Yeah. So we were talking about you.
He's so good,
Yeah.
and I admire the guy so much because he does so many different things, and he just goes, oh yeah, boom. Like Crowbar. Yep. Crowbar, along with David Thompson, and that game there, I'm going, oh man, we can ride these two, and we can really get people into it.
Absolutely.
And I remember a couple of years ago going to see Mark, and he was there playtesting it. And he goes, I wanted to make a game, an entry-level game for people, a push your luck type of game that kind of crosses the lines a little bit and brings people in. I go, oh, okay. So he sent me the prototype, and I must have played it about 15, 16 times. And I was just blown away by it. And then when it finally came out, the map was kind of tough to do it live. But when I got it, I, of course, did it live, and everybody loved that game. That game, my sponsor, Miniature Market, they brought it into stock. It was gone the same day. It was gone. Poof.
And you know what? I'm sure it's funny meeting a lot of these designers, and I think almost 100% of the designers I met were beautiful people, and it just makes you enjoy the game that much more. And anybody who has a chance to meet Herman, go and talk to Herman. What a sweetheart of a guy! What a sweetheart of a guy!
Oh, always just writes me out of the blue and stuff like that. And you're like, this guy did Dawn of the Zed.
Yeah,
Dawn of the Zed is like the greatest zombie game ever.
I like the second edition. I'm a second edition.
I got the third edition.
Yeah, I've got the third, but I think the second edition.
That was the first one I ever played. Was the third?
Oh,
edition.
The third. Okay.
I never played it until I got to know him, and then I heard about this game, and then it came out, and I went, okay, let me check this out. If Herman did it, it's got to be pretty good.
That's right.
I went. This is ridiculous.
Herman's
this is ridiculous. Oh yeah. It's a funny thing. I can't talk to publishers. I always feel guilty if I ever tried to go talk to them.
Why?
I mean, I just feel that so many people are going up to them and going, hey, I got, now, every time you turn around, wait a minute, hold it. Oh, another YouTube channel, another Wargaming YouTube channel just happened. Oh, you just scratch yourself. Another one just came. So, you get all these guys, I got 60 people following me. I can do all kinds of, and they're constantly asking for things, and I think it makes it bad for guys like us.
I'm always asking for
but you're a legitimate force in this industry. How are you not? You see,
I,
that you have a problem, and I'm going to tell you what your problem is. You're so unsure of yourself here, and you shouldn't be. You're doing a great service for everybody, and I'm telling you right now, you are legit. There are people that are out there that aren't legit. Okay, let's be honest. But what you do for all the channels, hey, you're showing everybody, and you have a wealth of knowledge, and you communicate well with these people and stuff like that. What I'm talking about is that guy that just starts up a channel last week, has 8 videos, and goes, "I'm a YouTube channel. Let me have your catalog of games." You know, that guy. Okay, listen, it's just me. Don't take it bad. It's just I just feel uncomfortable doing it. I wish I could. I would save myself a ton of money. To be honest with you.
How many followers do you have?
I think it's 12,400, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think you're pretty legit, Bob. Bob, what I call you Bob for?
I don't know. Jeez.
Is it like, what's your full name?
You could spell it backwards. It's Robert. My full name is Robert. But okay. I'm called Rob. My wife, she calls me a lot of things. You want to talk about, staying humble. Sometimes, the hair on my neck gets up. I get puffed up like a big old cobra, and I go up to her, and I'm going to give her the what all. I'm going to put her in her place.
Yeah.
And she looks at me with this cold, icy stare. And then I could feel all the air coming out of me. And she goes, "You're a marshmallow. Go to bed."
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Well, come on. She's your partner, man. What are you going to say?
Come here. Come on. Come say hi. Come say hi. No, which my shepherd.
Which one is that?
This is Gabriella, my shepherd.
And how old is Gabriella?
Gabby's 5.
Wow.
She has been on this channel more than she has a bed right here. And whenever I come out and do stuff, she'll just lay down. This is my girl. The other one's hers.
Yeah.
But I mean, greatest animal on the face of the planet.
I think
it's all right, girl. They're so good and so loyal. Oh, I love my shepherds.
Okay, Rob, enough about you. I mean, enough about me. Let's talk about you.
All right, go ahead.
I remember you had once stopped War and Pieces, and you told me why, and that was cool. And I had missed it. It's a show I watch, Rob. It's I have a lot of fun, and like I said, I learn. Okay. Now, are you taking War and Pieces somewhere else now? Are you expanding it somehow, or are you just continuing where you're going?
I decided what I wanted to do with the channel. And these are my thoughts, not Dan's, or reflect his channels whatsoever. I feel that the overall board gaming community kind of, I don't know. It's just how many a lot of the games seem watered down to me. In a way.
You mean like yeah.
I used to have a section because I thought that's how I would grow my channel, but I realize now I really don't care if the channel grows anymore. I don't care where it goes. I want to do the things I'm passionate about because it shows.
Yes.
If you do something that you're not interested in, it shows. And people don't come back and people don't watch. And even the people that are very loyal to the channel, they have a big voice, and they say, you really look like you weren't too interested, and boy, that wasn't too much fun. And I go, yeah, something that wasn't fun. And I just think that it's so political and it's so messed up. I kind of want to get away from those type of games and do the things that I really care about. And the things I care about and I'm passionate about are war games. So I'm expanding War and Pieces. It's it was gone for a little while. I didn't think people were interested, and it turns out Oh yeah, a lot of people were interested.
Yeah.
I'm changing how I think about things. I want to go bigger. I want to do things where, I would love for you to just pop in, you and a couple of the other guys, and say, hey, I've got this massive 8-hour game set up. We're in turn 1. Let's just do a total turn together. Let me get your guys' thoughts on this. Okay. On this particular scenario. How would you attack this? How would here's what I want to do. What would you do, Dan? What would you do, Mo? What would you do, OG? Joe? You know what I mean? Chief? You know, where we all come together and I think we need to build a strong coalition and get the good guys together and really, really, really set the mark. And that's that's a big thing I want to do. And I'm sorry, I was going to finish the question. You got something?
No, I was going to say, because there's another question that came to mind. You're talking about building a coalition, getting together and just having a good time. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
but showing people, at the same time, all the people that I mentioned are people that I knew. When I asked you to call me, I'll pull the curtain back. It doesn't matter to me. I asked you to call me because, I was interested in having you do something for me. And, but after watching you for the last year, I said, this is a guy I want to meet. This is a guy that I know that I'm going to be friends with. And, when I got to meet Grant and the other guys from Players Aid and how nice they were, Mo, how inviting he was. I keep naming the same guys, but I always wanted to meet Joe. A lot of these guys, because when I hear them talk, they talk the way and they think the way I do, and I know these are my type of people, and I just think we can show people how we could show them a beauty that they don't see. We can open people's eyes. You guys are already doing it, and doing a phenomenal job at it. I just think that there's so much more, and we can move people and teach people the same way I try to do with my painting. It can be done. You can get people to just come in and sit down and oh no, look, you can start here. There's a couple games. God knows Worthington makes some games that are just really educational yet very simple to play.
Yep, I like Worthington.
I do. And I started. He has a fascination with space, and I was thinking of him the other day because I started watching some of his old blogs. He doesn't do anything anymore.
You're talking about Grant, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm watching it, and he has a fascination with space. And my uncle and I, like I said, space was the biggest thing. And when I was growing up, I wanted to be Alan B. Shepard. That's all I wanted to be. I wanted to be an astronaut. My mother told me I was too stupid to be an astronaut. But so, I'm living in Connecticut, and all I ever wanted to see was, I wanted to go to Florida Space Center and stuff like that. Well, fortunately, with my job, I actually got to go in there. And then, of course, every time SpaceX lifts off, I just go out my front yard and I watch it go up in the air. And it's an amazing thing to watch. And it's
amazing. It's amazing how it lands.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. A funny story. There's a video on my channel, and I left it up. I'm pretty sure I left it up. I was driving into work, and one of them took off. Well, I'm driving and and I pull over and I'm filming it because it looked like it blew up, but it was actually the boosters coming down. It was the first one that they ever did or something like that. And the boosters are coming down and go, oh my God, I think that this thing blew up. And I'm on a video, right? So I get to where I got to go, and I start looking on the news. I go, nobody's reporting this. They don't know it. It blew up. No, it was just a booster. There's the 2 boosters coming down.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's your
Oh.
Italian side, man.
Only me.
So, Rob, going back to getting together and all that, have you ever been to WBC? Because that's the only con I've ever been. Have you ever been?
No, that's the World Board Gaming Championships, right?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I never that because it's so close to Gen Con.
I know.
It's like the next week. So either you go to Gen Con, which is a big boost for the channel every year, okay, or like one year I went to Historicon. There's one you got to go.
In San Diego?
No, Historicon is in Pennsylvania, and that year I think it was in Virginia. Yeah, it was in Virginia. The year I went to Historicon, it was a couple of years ago. I think they moved it back to Pennsylvania.
I don't know.
No, it's a historic wargaming convention.
I don't know. Is this where there's a channel called Little Wars TV? Are those the guys that go to Historicon?
Yeah, I don't know them that well. I think maybe they do. I've never watched anything from them for some reason.
Yeah, they're very. I mean, they do. It's all. A lot of it is miniatures, and they have this huge spread, man.
Oh God, yeah, I do that stuff. I love that stuff. Ooh.
Yeah.
I got micro armor that is coming out of my ears.
But you got these big, huge fingers. What do you do? Like, I don't understand.
I don't know. I just find a way to do it. Either I'll take a ruler and I'll glue them and paint them there. Not glue them, but tack them down and glue them on. And paint from there. But a lot of times I just like to use my hands. Like my hands are I got paint all over them from painting earlier. I feel more comfortable with holding it right here and being centered in my little world. And that's how it works for me.
Do you have any other hobbies other than game related hobbies, like sports or something?
Oh God. I 7-time national champion softball, flag football. I've played every sport known to man. The problem is I get bored. You win so much. And I'm not trying to brag, no, but it's true. We would go to a tournament every weekend, and it got to the point where I wish we'd get knocked out so I can go home and do something different. And that's when I just said, I'm going to hang this up. We won Disney. We won Disney. All teams from all over the United States would come. There'd be 120 teams, and we'd win. I mean, we were that good. I mean, I used to play baseball, deck hockey, football. I was constantly playing sports. Another thing I really love, I love playing video games.
Yeah, me too.
Oh my God.
I'm replaying Fallout 4 right now.
Oh, great game.
Yeah.
You know what I like? I like a lot of the old turn-based stuff. Remember the old Sid Meier stuff, the Civilizations?
I never played those.
Oh God, I love that.
I'm too stupid.
It's a funny thing. When I was younger, because you and I, I'm older than you.
You're not that much older than me, Rob.
But
you
listen,
look better than me. You're not much older than me.
Listen, when you were born, I was already running and learning how to bike. Think about it that way, all right? You were just getting a bottle for the first time. I was already pedaling around the neighborhood. Okay, I'm older than you. So, anyways, I remember having an Amiga. Do you remember the Amiga 500?
Of course, I remember Amiga.
The greatest computer ever. I had a chance to go on a date with this girl that everybody wanted to go out with, but Red Storm Rising, I think it was the submarine game.
Yeah, okay.
Tom Clancy game came out.
Yeah.
And I went, do I go home and play this, or do I go out on a date?
I guess you went home and played it, right?
Ordered a pizza. Went there, plugged it in. had a friend from work come over, and we were sitting there trying to figure out how to go through all the missions we're playing. Red Storm Rising. I went out with her the next night though, or else because after 9 hours, I was like, oh man, I should have just went out. I could have just played this again. But that's how much I loved the video games. I loved playing the old role-playing games. I loved playing the old war games. Blitzkrieg was awesome.
Medal of Honor.
SSI, yeah, all the old Medal of Honor. Oh God, I would just sit there and just play forever. I just, and to this day, I have every system you can possibly have, every handheld, and I buy everything for it. It's just now when I sit down, I go, okay, I got all my filming done. I did all my things out in the studio. I'm gonna go play this game. I get all set. I get the pillows propped up on the couch because my wife watches Housewives of whatever county it is for that day on the big TV. And then I set up this little 4K TV on a stand, and I can lay the other way. So we're together, but we ain't together.
Yeah, I understand.
So I lay down. All right. I get everything all prepped up. I get something to drink. I get an orange, so in case I get a little hungry, I don't have to get up. The dogs have already gone out the bathroom. They come and they lay down. They're ready to fall asleep. I turn on the PS4. I get the game loaded up.
Oh man.
Every freaking time.
Yeah. So you know what? What time is your bedtime, man?
I usually go to bed about 8 o'clock.
Seriously?
Yeah, I go to bed at 8. I get up at 3:30. Right to the gym.
Is there a reason why you get up that early?
I go to the gym real early, and then I head into my job, get out midday, come here, work for another 8 hours.
Can I ask you what do you do for a job, or you can't say?
Can't say.
Look at that, huh? Mark Herman can't say. Volko Runke can't say. When I met Mark Herman, by the way, lovely man, and I said, Mark, I heard you work for the Pentagon. Can I ask you some questions? He goes, you can ask me anything you want. I ain't gonna tell you nothing.
Yeah, he and I have had some interesting moments.
So this leads me to think that you're a spy, Rob. Okay, I'll stop right there.
Okay.
Is there an in a couple of minutes, in about 10 minutes, I'm gonna have to do the husband and wife thing and go watch television, because other than that, I don't see her. So no.
Hey, listen, I'd get rid of me too.
No. I was gonna say you're beautiful, but you know what I'm saying.
No, I understand totally.
So,
I understand totally.
Rob,
I'll answer him quickly now.
No, don't. That's not why I'm saying that, man. Your War and Pieces. Are you going to take that to BGG?
No, it's going to stay here, but I'm going to have an extension of it on BGG.
Okay.
What I'm planning to do is really kind of, because that crowd is such a Euro game crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And that channel is growing like ridiculous.
It's huge.
First of all, 6 million viewers a month, unique viewers a month, just on the website. The channel has grown 50,000 in the last year. Okay. Which is like ridiculous. You could attribute that to Rodney and Chaz.
Oh yeah.
Game night,
yourself.
I brought in 3 or 4 people, but the funny thing about it, it's going a lot of places. It has massive potential. BGG is the biggest. Everybody uses it. It is the biggest part of board gaming out there today. And to have such a humble leader as Scott Alden, who is just a fantastic human being. I mean, if you don't know him,
No, I don't know him.
you need to get to know him. I'll introduce you. You know, if you get to one of these conventions, you know, you'll like him, you'll love him, and he'd love you. Just a great leader. Just do what you want, enjoy yourself, and you have the freedom to do anything you want. And I just want to do more for him. You know, I do the painting every Wednesday. I pull a double shift, one here and then one for him. And then I'm planning on doing to get some more exposure for the wargaming community. And you know, if you look at Board Game Geek, the website, there's a huge wargaming following and forum there.
Yeah.
And I want to bring that to light, because it almost like it gets pushed in the back, but it's a huge part.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a huge community there.
That's where I go on wargaming all the time.
But I want to start acknowledging that on the YouTube channel and say, hey, you want to know something? We've got a fantastic forum. We have a fantastic resource for wargaming here at Board Game Geek, and here's all the things that we do, and also, you know, start, you know, showing off some games, you know, get some exposure for you guys. I mean, why do you only have 1,600 people? I mean, that doesn't, I just don't understand it.
No, but that's incredible for me. I'm blessed.
I think you should outdo me along with Mo and Gimpy. And OG there. I mean, Jesus, have you seen some of his work?
I know, but you keep putting me in the same bag as those guys. Those guys are it's those guys. I just bring the news of what they are doing, what you are doing. I mean, I'm not playing games. I'm not. I'm just Ted Baxter. Remember Mary Tyler Moore, Ted Baxter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like Ted Baxter. I'm the anchor guy.
Ted Baxter. What wasn't he the judge in Caddyshack?
Yeah. I think he was.
Yeah, no, he was. Ted Knight was your Ted Knight. Yeah, you damn right. That's that is like one of the greatest movies of all time, Caddyshack. You just said it yourself.
You're a sweetheart of a guy, Rob.
Listen. Don't sell yourself short. You know, all I'm saying is, you know, I'm going to push for you guys. I'm going to do whatever I can to bring it to our audience and make sure that people see all the great people that we have. And we do have some great people. We got some schmucks, don't get me wrong. But we got some great people.
We have more great people.
I agree.
Especially on BGG. If you got a question concerning a war game, an issue, man,
and it gets answered.
You're going to have 20, 30 people answering within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
You know, I was looking at I forgot what game it was, but I looked, and then, you know, you put the game in, and then it all comes up, and then you see the forums that they have for it, and all the questions, all the player aids that you can download and stuff. I mean, it's just such a fantastic resource, and we need to bring it to light and show people that, hey, there's people out there that are willing to help you get to where you want to be, and that's just enjoying it. Can you use another schmuck?
Actually, no, I wasn't going to click on that, but I mean, Kronos has been texting all the time. It's the player's aid, and this has got to be Grant.
Dan Picaldi.
Yeah,
you booked the best gets.
Yeah, that's Grant. That's Grant.
That's great. Yeah, we can always use another schmuck. I mean, geez, somebody's got to carry my shoes.
Anyways, Rob, I'm gonna cut it now and not look. I'd love to keep going on and on and on. I mean, if you and I and Uva would get together,
no, that wouldn't even be a show. It'd just be the Uva show. Believe me, I've stood there and listened to Uva.
But you know, I love Uva.
I do too. You know, I had a kink in my neck, no more, because you just sit there with Uva going. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. Rob, thanks so much for doing this.
Anytime. And like I said, anytime, anything you need from me, I'm here.
And about what you asked me for, well, I wrote it. I didn't like it. I threw it out. So I'm gonna
Take your
do
time.
it.
Take your time. We got all the time in the world. That's the beauty thing about it. I ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere.
Well, people,
But
thank you very much, Rob.
uh,
Stick around because you have to see the ending also.
okay.
I appreciate everybody watching. This was great, Rob. Thanks again. Let's please keep in touch. Too
Oh,
much.
definitely. Definitely.
So let's see this. Here we go. Bam. And see you later, Rob.
Later,
Stick
my brother.